Today we're gonna make a chicken cutlet, pounded thin, breaded, fried with a delicious tomato salad. You wanna prep that first because the longer you can let those flavors meld together, the better it's gonna be. Just wanted to prep those tomatoes to really get it out of the way and let it get going. I didn't use a lot of onion there, just a little bit. If you want garlic, put garlic in there. For something like this, I wouldn't use both. I would just use one or the other. I'm gonna put a lot of extra virgin olive oil in there. Use the best that you have. I'm going to use the Frantoia right here. Normally I use this type of olive oil for finishing. This is finishing. We're not cooking this salad at all. So, probably about a half a cup's worth. Definitely a lot. We want all the tomato juice to come out of here. And when we put it on the cutlet, it's gonna be really, really good. Okay, that's a good for now. We can put more on. I ran out of the kosher salt, but any salt you want, just, don't use too much at first. And that salt's gonna help draw some of the liquid out of the tomatoes as well. You can just see how good that looks, just like that. Very few ingredients in here. I'm not using any balsamic or red wine vinegar in this. Try to stay true to the tradition of what this salad is, a Caprese salad, and it wouldn't have balsamic vinegar. You could cover it and just let it sit out. Don't put it in the refrigerator. Just let it sit on your counter and the juices are gonna come out of here. It's gonna be really nice. And then we're gonna start prepping the chicken. All the chicken's done, salt and pepper. By the way, I'm out of kosher salt, so I had sea salt. That's why I always say kosher salt. That's just another reason. It makes it just a real pain. It's all little, tiny, fine salt, and it's sticking to your hands. You can't really season it. Anyway, we're gonna put the chicken in the flour. We're gonna dredge it. Then we're gonna put it in the egg. And then finally in our seasoned breadcrumbs right here. Now this is probably like the 10th chicken cutlet video I've done, and it's always the same process. The most recent one is the vodka chicken parm I did, and that one had garlic powder in the breadcrumbs. As far as the tomatoes go, all right, these really, really delicious looking tomatoes, just every 20 minutes or so, just toss it, okay? You can just see all these juices coming right into it now. It just smells great. So I'm gonna leave it over on the side, and that's the whole point of giving it a head start. Clean fork. I'm gonna grab the chicken and I'm gonna take it in the flour. I'm gonna put it in the flour, gonna shake my flour. Shake off all of that excess. Then I'm gonna put it in the egg. And I know we've done this a ton of times. A lot of people think that this is hard to do, so it's worth showing every time. I can't just say, take your chicken cutlets. I mean, you could buy the chicken cutlets from the store to make this recipe. All right, so here's my breadcrumbs. And then we're just gonna let the egg drip and then get it right in the breadcrumb. And then with my last fork, just shake it around like this. This makes it so easy. And then pick it up, give it another shake, and put the other side down. Shake it again. If you need to, come back in and just really coat it. And then you have perfectly coated chicken cutlet. Now, I grated the pecorino by hand, so it's, we have thicker strands. If you use store-bought, you're gonna have it finely grated. All right, we'll do one more. So same thing, you got your first fork over here, you put it in the flour. I guess you could get away with one fork for the flour and for the chicken. Shake it off, put it in the egg, get it coated on both sides. Move that plate towards there so you don't get it all over your table. And then right in there, you get it all on top of there, and there you have a beautiful cutlet. All right, we're gonna repeat all of them. You could fry in vegetable oil, you can use olive oil. All right, I'm gonna do medium heat on this, and I broke out the cast iron. This is a large cast iron pan, about a 1/2 inch high. You wanna get this oil, so you're gonna use a decent amount here. That's why I say use the vegetable oil. It's more economical. Plenty of people, not plenty, the majority of people use vegetable oil. It's been heating up for about 6 or 7 minutes. You can check it. You can put a little tiny piece, cut a little piece off, put it in there. You can put a little bit of the extra breadcrumbs, drop it in there. You can take the end of your spoon. If it goes in like this, right there, you got some little bubbles. So if we drop a little piece in, it'll probably sizzle right away. So for a 14-inch pan, this took about 7 minutes for it to get up to temperature. You can't crank your oil. Don't crank it to high and then think you can lower it. It won't work that way. When you put the cutlet in, put it away from you, not towards you, okay? So when it goes down like this, just away from me. I'm gonna end up doing 3 batches here. There's no way I'm gonna be able to fit it all. See if I can fit one little one over there. Either way, I'm gonna have 2 more batches. They're gonna take about 3 minutes, maybe 4 minutes per side, not too long. That's gonna be dictated by how thin you made them. You know, with a pan like this is a large pan and I have a small burner. I'm not using my stove, which would have probably a bigger element. You're still gonna have a little bit, the middle's gonna be the hottest point, so you can, with your fork, you can kind of try to rotate these. In the end, you should be fine. That looks pretty good. Just when you flip them again, pull from the back, flip them away. Well, and see how my piece is starting to break there? That could have splashed on me a lot. All right, those are looking good. It's always that first batch, you know, maybe you never get it completely perfect. You know, ideally you're doing this on a real stove, not a portable stove like this. And, you know, I know it's hard to, a lot of you guys are asking me about these because I think you have electric stoves. I know it's hard to cook on those. I don't really have a solution for you. Well, I mean, the solution is an induction if you can afford it, but they're expensive. You know, you can get an electric stove for $700 or $800, and an inductions are like $3,000. That's why we don't have an induction right now. You know, that's the main reason. Okay, let's pull them out. And then again, away from you. Once you get a rhythm down, you can check the clock. You could say, okay, those took me about 3 minutes per side, so you just watch again. Gonna turn it off and then get this out of the way. Be very careful with it, moving it. Cast iron with all that oil, just be very careful. Here's how the cutlets look, guys. All right, not as good looking as with vegetable oil, but a lot healthier. These can cool down right now. They don't have to be piping hot at all. We're gonna serve that salad on top. We're gonna bring the taste tester down too. So here's the tomatoes and the mozzarella, and that's been going for about 2 hours. So this juice is what you want all over that chicken. What I have over here is some basil leaves, and so I'm just gonna roll it up and then cut it. Now, if you wanna make this look really good for somebody, like, you know, if you leave a little bit of open area, it kind of tends to look a little bit better. And then the same thing with the basil too. Just kind of on one side. I'm gonna take a little bit more of that juice, get it all over there, even a little bit more of the extra virgin on top. I'm gonna put flaky sea salt on this.
Yeah, the chicken color looks good. I
didn't put a lot of salt on the tomatoes before, only about a little bit, so this is gonna like really boost it so much. I think this is gonna be phenomenal.
I know, it looks delicious.
Let me know what you think with like the olive oil, the juice from the tomatoes, all that. It's very fresh. Like the tomatoes were really good. That flaky sea salt on top of it right now makes it amazing.
The sea salt is good on it.
Then guys, if you want to use balsamic, obviously break it out. What do you think this deserves, buddy? I mean,
9 out of 10, Jesus.
9 out of 10, huh?
Yeah, it's really good.
Okay.
like all of your dishes are really, really good, but if it's like my favorite dish, they'll give it a 10 out of 10.
You give 9.5s also.
Yeah.
Patreon, it's growing fast. I'm going to start doing full meals on there. We're probably going to do a dessert, an appetizer, maybe like a side, a dinner.
Fun.
Yeah, these are going to be long videos. I don't think they're going to work well on YouTube to do an hour-long video on YouTube. That's the plan anyway, guys. I'm going to do that once I kind of hit my goals there. And I appreciate every one of you that's signing up. And I appreciate all you guys who are just watching here. That too. Special thanks to Patreon producers Chris Whalen, Steve Winitsky, Paul Walter Hauser, Elizabeth Shaw, Joe Hardage, John Andolino, Kenneth Parker, Matt Fisher, Richard C., Tom Branca, Mike Tamburino, Matthew Amore, Richard P. Bourne-Vanek, Matt Gramke, Alex Eckleberry, Andrew Uhas, Paul Batman, Patrick Lang, John Kelly, Jonathan Papini, Ronnie Mask, Trevor, JB, Monica Thoreau, Josh Avon, Ed Calamag, and Daryl Crone.